So let's go to the audio sound bites. Here is Obama. This guy makes more gaffes than George Bush and Sarah Palin combined and is never called on it. Here's this is Obama struggling to remember the name of the wife of the vice president.
Keeping our military strong means keeping our military family strong. Michelle and Vice President Joe Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, they made this their mission.
I got it, folks. You let that be George W. Bush. You let that be Ronald Reagan. And the stories today is Alzheimer's setting in. Do we have dementia? And I'm not kidding. They'd have psychiatrists and psychologists on TV, and they'd be analyzing this, and they'd be looking for any indication that a declining mental capacity was taking place. That was Camp Pendleton, California. Obama's struggling. Listen to this again now. This is not the Tonight Show. The next one's the Tonight Show. This is Obama. I want you to hear it again. Full-fledged Camp Pendleton, California yesterday.
Keeping our military strong means keeping our military family strong. Michelle and Vice President Joe Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, they made this their mission.
That's not a gaffe. He didn't remember her name, and that means probably that the teleprompter froze. Now, here's Obama on the Tonight Show Tuesday night, and Leno said, you mentioned infrastructure. Why is infrastructure a partisan issue? I live in a town, the bridge is falling apart, isn't safe. How does that become Republican or Democrat? Why don't you just go fix the bridge?
I don't know. As you know, for the last 3 years, I've said, let's work together, let's find a financing mechanism, and let's go ahead and fix our bridges, fix our roads, sewer systems, our ports. You know, the Panama Canal is being widened so that these big super tankers can come in. Now, that'll be finished in 2015. If we don't deepen our ports all along the Gulf, places like Charleston, South Carolina, or Savannah, Georgia, or Jacksonville, Florida, if we don't do that, those ships are going to go someplace else, and we'll lose jobs. Businesses won't locate here. So this is something that traditionally has been bipartisan. I mean, it used to be Republicans and Democrats, they love cutting those ribbons.
All right, let me take a stab at this, because I can answer this easily. Now, of course, the gaffe there is Obama saying, look, we have to deepen our ports all along the Gulf. Places like Charleston, South Carolina, which is on the Atlantic Ocean. Savannah, Georgia, on the Atlantic Ocean. Jacksonville, Florida, on the Atlantic Ocean. None of these are in the Gulf. Now, you remember what grief Sarah Palin got when she said she could see Russia from her house. You remember that? And you remember how that, among maybe at the top of the list, that statement from Sarah Palin was the primary means by which the media set out to destroy her. Her intelligence, her credibility, and here is Barack Obama, not knowing what he's talking about, sounding so sure of himself, and it's, in fact, the AP has written about this and doesn't even mention the gaffe. They are whitewashing it. They have written a story that essentially praises Obama's brilliance for understanding that we need to deepen the ports. They don't even touch on the gaffe. This kind of stuff genuinely really ticks me off. But let's go back to Leno's question. Why is fixing a bridge a partisan issue? Why does it have to be Republican or Democrat? Why don't you just go fix the bridge? Do you know that question? Leno, in that question, encapsulates the low information voter and the way they think. They cannot possibly see the partisanship in infrastructure. They haven't the slightest clue. It doesn't make sense to them when you explain it. They just don't understand. Why would there be any disagreement? You got a bridge that fell, just fix the thing. Where is the partisanship, he wants to know? And I guarantee you that question reflects the attitude of a lot of people. And of course, Obama answered, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm the guy I'm not partisan at all. I'm the one who's been trying to get everybody to work together on this infrastructure. Well, let's examine how he did that. He lied to this country when establishing this, I don't know what you call this presidency. Anyway, this stimulus was designed to fix all of these bridges. And Obama's out there trying to make everybody think that their bridge is going to fall down, or pretty much every bridge is in trouble. And we're going to build schools, and we're going to rebuild roads and all this. And not one penny of that stimulus went to any of it. So the way this becomes a partisan issue, Obama makes the case for the stimulus to rebuild crumbling infrastructure and gives the money to the unions in a money laundering scheme. Teachers' unions and public sector workers' unions got 75% of the stimulus. We've been through all of this with the details and the dollar amount. As a result, nothing got fixed. Not one bridge, not one school, not one road, and very few infrastructure jobs were created in order for this work to take place. And Obama then turns there and says it blames the Republicans for it somehow. And that becomes partisan. Where what we really have here is lying. What we really have here is misrepresentation and disingenuousness. What we have is a president going on television over and over again saying we need a stimulus to get the economy going, to come out of a recession, and we're going to get this money and we're going to spend it on people building roads and bridges and fixing them and all that. And then that doesn't happen. The Republicans don't have the votes to stop anything. The first 2 years, Obama owns the House, owns the Senate, owns the White House. It's one-party government. Republicans can't stop anything. And yet the bridge doesn't get fixed. Obama's the president. Limbaugh theorem. Leno says, why don't you just fix the bridge? What the hell's partisan? Well, the question, why didn't you spend money on repairing bridges like you said and creating jobs instead of giving it to unions? The question will never be asked, because I doubt that Leno knows that that's what happened. I'd venture to say that the percentage of people outside this audience and some of the alternative media program don't know. They think the stimulus was spent on creating jobs. For some reason, the Republicans still made sure the rich got all the money. That's why it is constantly so frustrating. Anyway, the gaffe portion of this, AP writes about it and praises Obama for knowing and saying and warning that we have to deepen our ports in the Gulf if we're to maintain our nation as a port economy. I'll tell you, the degree to which the people of this country are being dumbed down on purpose every day is striking. And all for the express purpose of maintaining in power a political party which seeks a permanent underclass and as many dependent people on government as possible, as many uninformed, misinformed, know-nothings as they can get.
Folks.